that the other people needs, you know. Uh,
I think he lost his connection, but he should be back in some minutes. Okay, so we can continue with the conversation. When I think about generosity, my mind comes the word selfless. You know, like you don't think about yourself, even when sometimes the decision might not affect you so much, might not be so positive for you, but you are trying to put yourself in someone's shoes, like you are trying to have empathy. And usually, I think even when we have this type of actions that are generous, even when we are not expecting anything in return, we kind of like the feeling, you know, you feel good about yourself, you feel like useful because you're doing something with your life, your existence here. So this is a topic that I am trying to address. I decided to address today because I believe we need more behaviors like that, like selfless actions, because people are so focused on their needs. Oh, I need money, I need to work, I need to provide for myself. And sometimes it's not an action that helps others. It's just for yourself, you know. I think being selfish, it's harmful for us, like our mental state, and also for other people around, you know. So that's why I decided to bring this subject for us. But I really liked how you brought like examples. What is to be generous like in practice, you know, how we can see generosity in our daily life, you know. Guys, if you want to share or you want to add anything, you can just open your mic and say the word, okay? There is no need to wait for your time and stay silent the whole time if you have anything to say. And we were talking about that a little bit, number 4, but let's go with number 3 first. Ju, can you read the third question?
Yes, sure. How can one be generous without money? I think people can help older people the many ways, like listen. Today I met a friend in OAB, and she needs to talk someone to listen her, and I'm helping she I'm helping her listen, and I think this listen something, taking the the way to help people, old people, to walk in the street, blind people. It's like this. It's not about money.
About the intention you have in your action, right? You mean something good for that person. Yeah. Actually, this week I helped like an old man to go down some stairs because we didn't have any place where he could hold, you know, to help him walk. And I noticed he was having some issues and I helped him. But it was so funny because he started to tell tell me tell me his whole life, and I was, oh my gosh, so much information, I can't handle this right now. But it was good because sometimes you feel alone, you need someone to talk, and I think that was that moment for him. Oh, I have the company to share something, so I'm gonna take it, you know. But it was something interesting that happened this week or last week, because it's Monday. And you, Lucas, what do you think? Number 3.
I think you pointed about listen that I feel about this is a good way to be generous with others. And sometimes people want and need only people that will listen, wait without run, and wait and listen. Sometimes you don't need to talk anything, only listen, make some questions maybe, and leave the people find the way, the words, the answers. Because I think when we are talking with other, when we speak, we find solutions, ideas, and understand the problems. So I think it is a good way. And time, you said too, and I think it is good when you give some time to help someone with something. Is good. Can be like volunteer, or you can help a strange person in the street, or a friend, or someone in the family. You can be generous with a lot of people in your day life. For example, when you are walking on the street and there are a lot of people that um, give you some papers, some things like this to try to sell something, is generosity to stop, listen, smile, and receive, listen. I think it make the day better for these people that usually work a lot and in the hot, in the sun. So I think this is generous too.
And thank you so much for giving this example, because I worked like handling these things and people really hate us, you know. They don't want to stop, they don't want to listen. So, and whenever I have someone offering me like a hand flyer, okay, you can give me, I know how you feel. Because it is something that happens. People are in a hurry, they think you are bothering them, like for 30 seconds of their time. It's, oh, I can't stop, you know. So your example was, it talked to me because I have this experience. I lived this moment in my life. And I agree. I think time is something so precious. We should give in other people's benefits, not only for ourselves, you know. So, because sometimes I'm here, I'm talking, and I'm like, oh my gosh, these people don't know me, and they are here, they are listening, they are really listening, you know. So I think you are generous to be here and listen to, sometimes I say silly stuff, you know, and still people are here, and we are exchanging ideas, we are having a good time. So for me, having every week being here, I find generous people, because your time, you could be with your family, you could be doing nothing, but you are here, you know, you chose to be here. So that is something that I don't take for granted. I really appreciate, guys, you for being here. That is from my heart that I'm saying. And something that I saw this week, here in my state, we need blood donation. You know, it is for free. It doesn't hurt, and I have to take this time here to say, if you can donate blood, please go to the place in your city and go and make a good action that is for free, and it is so important for a lot of people.
I listened something bad about this in my state, Minas Gerais. I don't know if it's true. I can't search about this. Only a friend that told to me. that Ludmilla make something, I think, in Rio de Janeiro to give some tickets to people that donate blood, for example. And a lot of people go there and make this donation and try to do something similar here in Belo Horizonte, Minas, I don't know exactly where. And because some politic things, policy things, uh, can't permit it to do this again because you will donate the blood expected something in return. And this, for me, was a polemic question and feeling, and they'll make it is good or is bad. I don't know. I really I don't see problem if the artists can donate these tickets to blood. Okay, for me, but I understand the other side that you can't donate expecting something in return, but it's something that need more discussions. And I feel bad with this because it's an important thing. In this action movement, a lot of people when the repercussion in TV appear on Fantástico. So I see more benefits to do this that do nothing, for example, and stop this action.
Yeah, I'm with you. For me, if you are encouraging people to do something positive, why not, right? But it is polemic, like you said.
I talk about with my colleagues about this. I agree with decision by Hemominas because when you give something for people donation blood blood
Blood?
blood people can lie in the pool because the Mominas asked some questions about the quality the blue and the law it's against this action. And I agree with Imominas. I know this is a good action by Ludmilla, but she donated your time and the money, your job, of course. But people can donate the blood, don't maybe maybe lie just for receive the ticket.
I haven't thought about that. Like, there is always someone who ruins the things for the others because you misbehave, you lie. So other people who would be honest, they lose the chance. They miss the chance to have the tickets because others are lying. Yeah, that is really sad. And talking about that, number 4, it's, do you believe in truly selfless actions? Why or why not? Lucas, go ahead.
Yes, yes. Of course, I believe. I think this is difficult to find a truly selfless, but of course there are a lot, and I I see in my personal life with the people that I live, usually uh, old people like to help others without expected anything, for example. And I see this behavior in my grandmother, for example, my mother-in-law too. Um, and people that donate, usually money in my family, but I think is without expected anything.
That's amazing. Keep these people around. They are so precious. And you, Ju, what's your opinion?
Yes, I, 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 I think it's possible. How do you say? I know people, generous people, and my mentor, for example, I asked for just to read uh, my presentation, and then she asked me for a friend, for a journalist friend to read my presentation, and they helped me, and I can't expect for this, and then she she did more things I expect.
Yeah. How do you feel? How did you feel about this moment? Like,
I'm feel grateful and be happy. It's pretty happy.
I can imagine we want people to be like this, but sometimes we don't expect because the world is so difficult nowadays, right? A lot of selfless people. So when we meet someone who is the opposite, it's just perfect. Yeah, I believe, but I'm trying to be less naive. I'm trying to be more realistic. That's the word, because sometimes I like to see the good in people, to expect something positive, but I can't I can't be someone who is thinking that they would act as I would, because they are different. They have another vision, another perspective on life. So I try to, okay, keep some hope in my heart, but not be like a fool, like to believe anyone and everyone they are gonna be good to me, because sometimes they are not gonna act like I want or I expect. So I think it is important to keep yourself a little bit tough, like not completely, but to, I don't know, measure your your hope levels and be more okay. I like this person, I believe in them, but something can happen, and in the future maybe I can get disappointed, to be realistic. That is the word I can use to describe it. But I think that we have good examples of generosity, so we can look for these people and expect them to be more and more in higher number, to inspire others, like we can have this happening. So let's take a look at the other questions. Let me see. Guys, any suggestions? Which question would you like to discuss?
I, I like to discuss about the next question about examples of generosity because I am thinking about this in this moment. And I will discuss about. I
Okay.
think that when people receive a lot of money, an example, uh, people that play football or some kind of sports, I think it is an obligation that these people open something to help others. And there are a lot of examples. Because of this, I can't pointed a greatest example, the biggest example, because I think there are a lot. And Google is one, for example. Ayrton Senna, other, who the biggest swimmer in the Brazil, Cesar Cielo, to have a other project. So I think these examples was so good because um, catch people that in that is inside minority groups, some kind of difficulties on life with family, house, drugs, something like this, and usually are kids that is introduced in the community and about using the sport to do this. So I love this kind of examples. And today in Seleção Brasileira, there is a guy that I like a lot that people usually talk about um, isn't Pombo, isn't Ganso, Pombo that did this biggest and beautiful goal on World Cup, and he is one guy that um, I see and I feel a lot of good things. Is totally opposite of Neymar, for example, and I like when these guys that receive a lot of money donate something to help and started a project to poor people and vulnerability people. I think this is a good example.
Yeah, for sure. I like the pigeon as well. Richarlison. I think he has a good heart. He seems to have, because I don't know, but
Yes.
his actions have a good effect on me and on the kids, like everything you mentioned. Yeah. Thanks, Lucas. And you, Ju?
Yes, I agree with Lucas. I think people from sports, uh, artists, actors, actresses can be more for your all country, like Brazil, and need to development and people uh, vulnerability. I think it's important to do for your country, for your city, for neighborhood.
Do you know someone who works with this type of projects?
Not famous people, but people around me.
That's good. Do you have ever participated in this type of projects? Just curious.
Yes, from Educafro em São Paulo, with Frei Davi.
I've heard about Educafro. It seems to be really amazing, right?
Only more one thing that I forgot. On Netflix, there is a series about Bill Gates, and I don't know if you know, but Bill Gates help a lot of people in Africa that suffer with diarrhea that kill a lot of people, and this is one mission that Bill Gates has, and of course, this is one the most rich person in the world. And I think this action is without expected anything because in this position, rich man, old man, he don't need to help others, but he do this, and I think this generosity is a truly generosity. And in Netflix, there is this series that I watched, and in English, I watched it in English and like a lot.
How was it for you to understand in English the whole context? Was it easy? Not so much?
I think it is because I use subtitles yet, one time I will try to only watch and listen, but I am read some parts, so make it easy to understand.
Okay, gotcha. But I didn't know about this project with Bill Gates. It's new information for me. Thank you for sharing. And oh, I don't know, maybe someone besides soccer players. I remembered Winterson that in the pandemic he donated like oxygen for hospitals in Manaus that in during some time it was really critical, the situation there because of COVID-19. So I don't know if it is the greatest, but that was the example that I thought about because it has stayed in my mind because we suffered so much in that time and we really needed like famous people and people with uh that were like big, that were everywhere and were well known to give an example of generosity and inspire other people, you know. So I like the I like this, not the story because it was sad, but I believe it was an example of generous action. So now I'm gonna give Ju the chance to choose the question if she wants, of course.
Number 7, what are some benefits of generosity for the mental health? I think it's a benefit for both parts, and people feel grateful, who can do, and they who can receive too, and they feel more happy.
Yeah, good words. I agree. And you, Lucas.
In my case, I will give an example. I work with Ukrainian guys, more than one. There are 3 Ukrainians in the team, and I have opportunity to talk and discuss about war with them. And I think is a culture, Ukrainian culture. They don't like to talk about this and start a conversation about this, but I like to ask about what happens and something like this. And in one point, in one specific point, I had a terrible day, a bad day. I feel totally upset about different things. And in the next day, I started to work and need to discuss about some things with Vladimir, that is the Ukrainian guy. And we talk about work, solve things, and I asked about the war, how he was feeling, what passed, something like that. And he started to talk that a big lake exploded than uh, near his house, and a lot of friends that live in the area was inside the water, underwater. And I think, oh man, I think this action to ask help him to discuss and talk about what is happening in her life, and help me too, because when I told this for him when he uh, talk about this, I say, man, I am ashamed because yesterday wasn't a bad day. uh, my day was perfect. Your day was totally crazy. And I think the help my mental health to maintain the balance in my life, and help him to give the chance to discuss and talk about this, because they don't have this culture to start a conversation and talk some difficult things. But if you ask, they started to talk and don't stop. These guys, not that I work, I don't know if all Ukrainian guys is in this way, but I think this conversation uh, will will was good for both.
You put your problems in perspective, right? We're like, oh, I have problems, but they are not so big, or they are not so critical as the story he told you.
Yeah.
Can imagine. And I think that you were a good friend, and we all need that person in work or in the house, whatever you are. I think you need someone to be there for you, even sometimes just listening or asking questions, like you said. That's really relevant for all human people. All human beings need this type of contact, to vent sometimes. And yeah, I think I don't have anything to add about the benefits. It is something that we feel like we are, for me, it's rewarding. I feel like I'm doing something that I should be doing because, like I said, empathy. And if I were in that person's situation, I'd like to be helped or to be heard, so if I can do that for someone, in my mind, I'm doing the right thing, and that makes me feel good about myself, and like, only positive vibes in my mind. And I'm okay, I need to do this more. Anytime I have the chance to help, I feel like, oh, I don't help enough. I'm too focused on myself, so I need to change that and help more others. So to finish, let's talk about number 8 or 9. Which one? Which one do you prefer? Lucas, which one?
I can discuss about 9.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Um, I think yes, can be learned, and the children born and started a life without bias, and and some things, and the most things uh, is learned in the life. So I think can be learned, but if for some reasons the people can't learn when was a children, can be learned after when is a adult, and I think it's totally possible. And I think the empathy that you mentioned a lot, Sarah, this is a part of this process, because the people need to understand that that is an obligation to help others, and put in this place. The sometimes people suffer because a lot of things happen in the life is difficult, and when the people have this empathy and put in this way, probably can learn about the importance to be generosity with others.
Beautiful. I like your speech right here. I really liked it. Thank you, Lucas. And you, Ju, go ahead.
Yes, I agree with you, Lucas. I think the children can 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 learn about generosity and to sharing the the toys, like something like this, share the things, share the time. I think it, but it's important the family to be an example.
Sure. That is so true. Do you have siblings, Ju?
Yes, I have. I have one brother and the two sisters.
Okay. So you know how to share. It's not a problem for you.
No, I'm the last child. Okay.
Yeah.
And I received all things my brothers, my sister.
Okay, I understand. I'm asking this question because I'm the last one either. I'm the youngest child, so I never was alone. So my whole life was about sharing. So for me, it's like, oh, natural, you know. And you, Lucas, do you have any siblings?
Yes, one sister, and I am an uncle too.
Good. How do you feel about sharing?
In the beginning of discussion, we talk about individualism. I think you or Juliana told about this, and it's so difficult because Arthur, that is a children with 10 years old, and watch a lot of things on TikTok and YouTube, and sometimes I feel this culture of sharing isn't apply in this social media. The individualism is more important. Um, what you what you have, what you can do is usually focused on a person, an individual person, for example, and it's hard to teach this for him. And this is only him, the small family. So is one point that need be attentions.
I think it is natural. We are focusing on ourselves, but we can't forget about others in this process, you know. We need to find balance. And thank you, Ju. Thank you, Lucas, so much for the conversation. I hope you guys liked it. And let me check with the others. How was it in the breakout room? POE, Lucas POE. How was it?
Oh, it's awesome. It's a good moment to talk about a good topic, and it's good to have a moment to think about it.
Very nice. We were talking about the number question. No, question number 9. Do you think generosity can be learned from an early age? What do you think?
Yes, I think it can be learned because we can learn it with some examples, like your mom, father, or friends. So I think yes, it's possible to learn from early age.
Okay. And do you have siblings, Lucas?
Yes, I have. I am the youngest son, so I have 3 siblings, and I take a lot of examples about my siblings. So yes.
Nice. You learn how to share with them. I'm the youngest as well. We are doing a meeting here. Ju is the youngest, Lucas as well. I am one, so the meeting. How about you, Sonia? Are you youngest daughter as well?
I am the older daughter. I have a youngest sister, and I share. I learned to share since I was child, because my parents, my father and my mom, told us the importance to share with other persons. It was very good for me. I practicing until today, and it was a very good lesson for me.
I'm sure about that. Sonia, can you share your opinion about question number 8? It's more blessed to give than receive. What's your opinion?
I don't know if blessed is the word, but as I said in the breakout room, I am not very religious person, but of course, for me, it's very important be able to give something to the other person, to share. For me, generosity is synonymous of sharing. And you can share in material things and unmaterial. You can share knowledge, you can share feelings, you can share support, you can share a lot of things without money. You don't need money to be generous. For me, it's my opinion.
Couldn't agree more. Thank you so much. She's always so wise, guys. You don't know how much. Thank you, Sonia. And you, Ayla, I want to know your opinion about the same question. Okay. Number 8.
Yeah, I think I agree. I agree with what Sonia said. And I think when I can give more than receive, I feel as my my soul full of love. I don't know if it's like a more blessed, but I think it's a good feeling. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. I said something similar. Like I feel like I'm doing something that I should be doing, like purpose. I'm following this when I have a good action, when I do a good action. Guys, thank you so much one more time. Have a nice night, okay? And take care of yourselves. Bye-bye and see you next time.
Bye-bye.